Hey, what's going on? It's Jack. I'm back with more Buzzword, more academic Buzzword, running through these practice questions that they put together out of quiz bowl questions that they said in real life with real people. At this point, with these questions, they probably did them over Zoom because I think they were still in the middle of the pandemic. These were released. These questions will be accurate as of 2020. So the current events may be not so current. As a reminder with Buzzword, this is a recreation of the toss-ups used in Quiz Bowl. So the clues in the question are going to go from more obscure to more well-known, and the sooner you buzz in and get it right, the more points you get. These are going to be academic, and they're going to throw some computational math at me. At us, really, if you think about it. So I'm going to... not put my full weight behind those because I don't do computational math. All right, first question. Let's go.
In a novel by this author, the evil Beauty Smith makes the title character fight wolves and a lynx. In another novel by this author, John Thornton pans for gold with Buck, his...
Let's check London. Was there dog... There must have been dog fighting in Wildfang? Whitefang. Because they were talking, that last one is about Call of the Wild, and that's Buck, and Whitefang is the wolf. But yeah, novels about dogs, almost always going to be Jack London.
In 2018, Georges Lemaitre's name was added to an equation named for this American that relates recessional velocity and distance for far-off galaxies, expressing the expansion of the universe this man discovered. For 10 points, identify this man who lends his name to a NASA space telescope.
Oh yeah, Hubble. The Hubble constant has to do with universe expansion. I forgot about that aspect of Hubble.
The lack of a permanent attachment distinguishes these vehicles from funiculars. An iconic set of these vehicles uses a route over Nob Hill and another terminating near Fisherman's Wharf.
Okay, yeah. Because funiculars are cable cars that go up steep embankments. Like go up steep hills. And I guess cable cars can detach from the cars. Yeah, funiculars are attached to their cables. So they go up and then come down. And that's just the cables getting pulled back and forth. Or with cable cars, the cable's always running. And then the cable car latches on and lets go. Plus, they were just talking about San Francisco there. So it's going to be cable cars.
This river flows past the Springwood Estate where Franklin Roosevelt grew up. The U.S. Military Academy is on this river. This river is connected to the...
I feel like it's just a New York river, so it's going to be the Hudson. Yeah. No knowledge there, just, well, some knowledge of FDR growing up in New York and West Point being in New York. And naming, at this level, at level B, it's just kind of like name the most famous New York river.
While campaigning against the Four Olds, this dictator called on the Red Guard to destroy sacred artifacts. This revolutionary asked citizens to build backyard furnaces as part of his Great Leap Forward. For 10 points until...
Mao. Mao was the Great Leap Forward. Definitely not in Rome.
This is the lightest element whose trifluoride is considered a Lewis acid because it is electron deficient. Pyrex glass contains the
Yeah, Pyrex is heat resistant, and most heat resistant glass is borosilicate glass. Just pounding through these questions.
This character asks to be taught how to make handkerchiefs to the amusement of Charlie Bates. Nancy feels guilty after working with Bill Sykes to kidnap this title character for 10 points.
Bill Sykes is in... Oh, Bill Sykes is in Oliver Twist, not Uncle Tom. Oh, I had a lapse. Yep. Simon Legree is the bad guy. One of many bad guys in Uncle Tom's Cabin. Bill Sykes is in Oliver Twist.
This ethnic group inscribed over 2,200 names on the hieroglyphic stairway at Copan. This group's Temple of the Warriors and Observatory of Caracol are found at another city where El Castillo was a temple to Kulkakan. For 10 points, name this civilization that built Chichen Itza in Mexico.
Chichen Itza was Incan. No. Mayan. God, I keep messing those three up. That was bad. There's some bad trivia playing by me on those last two questions.
This president's secretary, Betty Curry, was given this man's cat
who's Betty
Socks
Curry?
after a conflict between...
Yeah, they said Socks. Socks is Bill Clinton's cat. There's Socks the cat and Buddy the dog. Bill Clinton's pets.
The product named for this mathematician combines two sets into a set of ordered pairs. This French mathematician and philosopher pioneered the use of algebra techniques in geometry. For 10 points, identify this man whose Latinized...
No. I don't think it's actually going to be him. Yeah. I should have waited on that. I was trying to be a general. That was a meta buzz there that did not pay off.
A clock error forced this company to end an unmanned December 2019 test of its CST-100 Starliner vehicle. Accidents in October 2018 and March 2019 caused by faulty software led this company to ground all of its 737 MAX planes.
So it's just Boeing then. I was thinking we're on SpaceX here. We given SpaceX stuff, but it was a different aerospace company. The aerospace company, for the most part.
An interpretation of this painting's left side identifies a green-winged zephyr holding aura. A woman holds out a cloak to this painting's title character, who...
Winds. Zephyr is one of the directional winds, and a title figure, and somebody trying to clothe the title figure. It's going to be The Birth of Venus by Botticelli.
In this state, Charles Whitman killed 14 people in a 1966 shooting spree from atop a university.
I think that was in Texas. Yeah. I think it was at University of Texas. Gunman from the top of one of the towers at Texas University.
Pencil and paper ready. Valentina needs to know how many dollars it will cost to drive 360 miles, given that gas costs $2.50 per gallon and her car gets 30 miles per gallon, by first finding the number of gallons of...
All right, I missed a 2 I needed to divide in there, but don't care.
This composer depicted the goblin Scarbo in the finale of his piano suite Gaspard de la Nuit. Ida Rubinstein commissioned a piece by this composer that this man described as a very long, gradual crescendo over a snare drum ostinato. For 10 points, name this French composer of Bolero.
Bizet? Ravel. Yeah. Not good with composers. Bizet is French, at least. But yeah, Bolero is Ravel. Yeah.
This group, which adopted the inerrancy doctrine in 1979, was first led by William Bulleen Johnson after its formation in Augusta, Georgia in 1845. Billy Graham and Jerry Falwell were ordained within, for 10 points, what Christian...
I think this is just the Southern Baptist. Yeah.
According to Amontone's laws, this force is independent of area. For a moving object, this force equals a namesake coefficient times the normal force. The heat generated by this force allows a match to be ignited.
So just friction? I mean, it's got to be just friction. Frictional force. Yeah, because there's static friction and dynamic friction. Which are different.
This island's name comes from the Sanskrit for land of gold. The Sultanate of Aceh once occupied this island's northernmost region. Its southern tip lies on the Sunda Strait, separating it from neighboring Java. For 10 points.
Borneo, then? Sumatra. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Sumatra's closer to Java.
In an African story, a girl named Udea has this many siblings. A Brothers Grimm fairy tale is titled for this many ravens. In the Arabian Nights, this is the number of voyages undertaken by Sinbad the Sailor. For 10
Oh,
points,
how many
give this number
voyages?
of dwarves encounter.
Yeah, 7 voyages of Sinbad. Yeah, that was a good one. I like that question. How many times has 7 shown up in folklore? It's a good one.
Documents contradicted this person's 2019 claim that she was fired as a speech therapist in 1971 for becoming pregnant. An ultra-millionaire tax was proposed by this former Harvard law professor.
I think this is Elizabeth Warren? Yeah. That's stuff that Elizabeth Warren was up to in 2020.
This king's aggression against the Holy Roman Empire sparked the 9 Years' War. This king's Edict of Fontainebleau alienated the Huguenots by revoking the Edict of Nantes. In 1682, this king permanently set up his royal court at Versailles.
I'm going to say 16. 14. All right, that's fine. It was one of the Louis. I was only 2 off in terms of Louis.
In a film, this actor's character says, "I love you 3000.
Yeah, come on. You're just giving me Marvel stuff? I'll take a 20. I'll take 20 off of MCU stuff every day. I love you 3000. That's what said a lot in Endgame. Avengers Endgame. His final Marvel movie. Spoilers.
In a children's novel by this man, Caractacus Pot defeats gangsters using the flying car Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, it's Ian Fleming. Yeah. Bond creator Ian Fleming also wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That's a long-standing trivia nugget.
This type of animal occupies trophic level 2. These animals, which are classified as browsers if they do not feed from the ground, have symbiotic gut bacteria capable of digesting cellulose. For 10 points, give this general term for organisms whose diet consists of algae or plants.
Oh. Okay. I was not expecting, at the beginning of that question, I was not expecting it to end with herbivores. It's these questions where they want something that's actually very, very broad, but when you first hear it, like, well, that could be, cows? Maybe some sort of beetles? Termites? Oh no, you just want herbivores.
This author's 1895 libel suit against the Marquis of Queensberry backfired and landed him in prison for gross indecency. This man wrote a play in which Algernon's friend Jack uses...
Yeah, Oscar Wilde. Yeah. He's the author who went to jail for indecency. It's going to be Oscar Wilde. So Marquess de Queensberry, the same person that came up with the boxing rules, put Oscar Wilde in jail? Huh. It's a varied life there.
This battle was the climactic victory of the Expédition Particulière led by the Comte de Rochambeau. This battle's losers surrendered to Benjamin Lincoln while playing The World Turned Upside Down.
Yeah, it's Yorktown. Final battle of the American Revolution. Just like that Hamilton song.
This quantity is constant within a fluid parcel during incompressible flow. This quantity times little g times height gives hydrostatic pressure. An object will sink if it has a higher value for...
This sounds like density. Things with higher density sink in things with lower density.
The highest point of the Hindu Kush Mountains is in this country, K2, the second highest mountain in the world.
And is K2 in Nepal, or is it actually in India? I'll just stick with my initial idea. Oh, it's in Pakistan. I was way off. Yeah, K2 is totally in Pakistan. Yeah. I got stuck on Nepal and couldn't get off of it.
This was the most popular material used for American scrimshaw engraving.
Oh, ivory. Yep. Yep, Ivory's a better answer than Whalebone there. Yep.
This man and Randy Moss both had a record 28 touchdowns in their first 2 NFL seasons. This man won a championship at WrestleMania 36 during his brief retirement from the NFL.
Yeah. Gronkowski went and wrestled. Gronk. You big dumb idiot.
This novel's narrator refers to his companion as the Holy Goof. The morphine-addicted Old Bull Lee in this novel represents the author William S. Burroughs. Sal Paradise narrates his travels across the U.S. with Dean Moriarty in for...
I should have... Probably only lost a point or two, but I should have went in right on Sal Paradise. Oh, and all the other characters being analogs for other authors. Oh, yeah, with Burroughs. Yeah, that was probably buzzable there.
Ernest Rutherford showed that these particles were spontaneous emanations from radium decay. Their motion can be stopped by a sheet of paper, and their emission reduces an atom's mass number by 4. For 10 points, what Greek letter names these heavy particles equivalent to a helium nucleus?
I think those are just alpha particles. Yeah. I'm not... Quantum physics is one of my weak points in science in particular. So I just kind of have to guess things at that point.
This country's king established the Grunk government while in exile in Beijing.
Grunk and Gog?
The dictator of this country converted a high school into the Tuol Sleng prison and sent millions to die in killing fields. For 10 points.
I think they're talking about the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia then. Pol Pot in particular. Yeah, he was the one that ordered the killing fields.
A massive 2017 update to this game was called The Atlas Rises. Players of this game meet the Gek, Korvax, and Viking.
Oh, No Man's Sky has the Gek. Yep, No Man's Sky definitely has the Gek, not Destiny. Yep. Should have waited on that. It's been a while since I played either No Man's Sky or Destiny, though. God, who are the... There's one of the enemy races in Destiny sounds like Gek. What is it? I can't remember. Oh well, that's just leaving points on the board there.
In August 2020, Guido Melgar filed a statutory rape charge against this man who violated a term limits provision to run for a 4th term against Carlos Mesa. Janine Áñez replaced this man after an OAS audit of that election. For 10 points, name this deposed former president of Bolivia.
Yeah, so it's Chavez. Oh, Evo Morales, not Hugo Chavez. Yeah, Hugo Chavez is Venezuela. Kind of falling apart here.
In a scene from this novel, a man, a woman, and a girl stand on a scaffold while watching a meteor streak through the night sky. This novel's title refers to a punishment for adultery in 17th century.
That scarlet letter being A for adultery. Yeah, a man, woman. So it's Hester Prynne and Pearl. Blithedale? No, that's the Blithedale romance I was thinking at. Who's the dude? Trying to remember who the dude was. And it's not coming to me. Anyway. Scarlet Letter by Hawthorne.
While this hero was living on Skyros disguised as a girl, he fell in love with Dana Mia. This father of Neoptolemus almost abandoned the Greeks at Troy, but returned after his companion...
Yeah, so it is... I thought it was after the pretending to be a woman, because they were trying to hide him from having to go fight in the Trojan War, because his mother... There's some prophecy that he would die at Troy. So his mom even tried to make him immortal, and did for the most part, except for that one little piece of the heel.
This scientist's treatise, Micrographia, described his work with microscopes, including his discovery of cells. His namesake law deals with the restoring forces on objects that undergo compression.
Oh, it's Hook. Yeah. Hook discovered cells and also did harmonic motion. A Renaissance man, a polymath of science.
In this city, Gheorghe Gapon died while leading a protest that ended in Bloody Sunday during the Revolution of 1905. In this city, bombers from the People's Will assassinated Emperor Alexander II. Leningrad was the Soviet name of, for 10 points, what Russian city on the Baltic?
Yeah. Okay. Leningrad, yeah, because they didn't want to. They changed it to Leningrad during the Soviet because they didn't want to glorify a previous czar. There's going to be another computational math one coming here that I'm just dreading.
This country's northern city of Tromsø was the site of a large burial of Viking jewelry. Its second most populous city, Bergen, was once in the Hanseatic League.
Bergen.
A large number of fjords indent the coastline of, for 10 points, what country where the Nobel Peace Prize?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Nobel Peace Prize is given in Norway, but all the rest of them are given in Sweden. Because Nobel was weird.
A book by this philosopher discusses his theft of pears from a neighbor's orchard as a child. A book by this man that was inspired by the sack of Rome in AD 410 contrasts the title place with the earthly city. The city of God and Confessions are by, for 10 points, what saint from Hippo?
I actually have no idea what's going on here. Who's, is it St. Augustine of Hippo? It is the St. Augustine of Hippo. All right, I'll take that. Take that. Random guess.
This process is called natural if it is driven by buoyancy, or forced if it is driven by a fan or pump. This process drives namesake currents of molten rock in the mantle. Bulk movement of a fluid causes, for 10 points, what mode of heat transfer contrasted with radiation and conduction?
Yeah, they said two of the three main sources of, or the two of the three main ways that heat is transferred. So that just kind of left convection.
This man died shortly after replacing his son-in-law, Aaron Burr Sr., as president of Princeton. In a 1741 speech, he compared mankind to spiders about to be thrown into a fire.
Oh.
For 10 points, what preacher from the First Great Awakening
Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God.
Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God?
Who was that guy? Oh, it's not. It ends in N, I'm pretty sure, though. I just don't. Nope, I was way off. Jonathan Edwards. If they wanted Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God, I could give you that. I just forgot it was John Edwards.
John Callahan posthumously completed this man's novel about racist Senator Adam Sunraider. Juneteenth is by this author, who wrote a novel in which an employee of Liberty Paints is pursued by the militant Roz the Exhorter and fights a battle royal. For 10 points, who wrote Invisible Man?
Okay. Yeah. Ralph Waldo Ellison. I didn't realize his middle name was Waldo. It's almost Ralph Waldo Emerson, which was probably on purpose, huh? Oh, yeah. I mean, with Juneteenth, it was probably going to be an African-American writer. But I wasn't sure which one it was going to be right until they said Invisible Man.
Pencil and paper ready.
Yeah,
Lena needs to find the y-intercept of the line that passes through the point 2, 9, and that has a slope of 3. By utilizing the point slope formula, or just plotting from the given point.
I think it's just 3. Hey, got there. Because that's just like, all right, so it's slopes, so that means it's over, and then, yeah.
This artist showed Joanna Heffernan holding a lily and standing on a wolfskin in his painting The White Girl. A seated elderly woman in profile.
Yeah, so it's going to be Whistler. Composition in black and gray, number 1, which is better known as Whistler's mother.
During this war, a future king called the Well-Served was disinherited by the Treaty of Troyes. During this war, Charles VII was crowned king soon after the siege of Orléans was lifted. I
feel like I feel like this is just going to be the 100 Years' War. Sit Orleans and crowning kings, and anytime it's England and France, it's probably going to be the 100 Years' War, especially at level B.
This man discussed sexual selection in humans in The Descent of Man. This man observed an adaptation radiation in beak shape in the finches.
Oh, okay. Finch beaks, you say? That's going to be Charles Darwin. The swallows or finches of the Galapagos. Yeah, that was the level B week 3, fall 22 of Buzzword. If you want to take a shot at these sorts of questions yourself, you can head to neqt.com/buzzword and see what they have on offer. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching.